I don't really know how to start this. I feel like there's a lot happening in the world right now, and part of me feels like I'm going a little crazy. Like I'm one of the only people who really sees just how crazy everything that's happening right now is. And the thing is that I know I'm not that crazy. I know that there are a lot of people who are looking at whatever's happening in the world and being like, "Whoa, that's crazy. That's way too much to deal with at the moment." There's a thing that I saw recently. I can't remember where I saw it. I might have saw it on Instagram or something, and it was just the. It might have been like maybe a YouTube short or something, and it was just the premise of it was just we were not built to know this much information. Like we have access to everything happening in the world at all times. And the thing is that however much you think you know, however much you think you're reading, there is still always more that you could go find, right? There's still always more to read. There's another news article to look at. There's another, whatever it is. There's always something to look at. And so I think that part of me is sort of grappling with that, knowing that I feel so inundated by everything happening in the world. I feel overwhelmed by everything happening in the world. And I just want to get it out. I want to talk about the things that I find interesting. And a lot of what I find interesting is the news. I like the news. I like paying attention to the news, even if it makes me chronically depressed. But I think that it's important to pay attention. It's important to pay attention because if you're not paying attention to what's happening in the world, then you're just going to be sort of left behind by the world. The world is just going to pass you by, and you're going to end up dying one day, and you're going to say, well, what happened? What did I even exist through? What did I even live through? And so I think that for me personally, on my own personal sort of journey as a person, I want to try to pay attention to my life, pay attention to the things that are happening in my life and what the things that are important to me. And so I think that that's maybe why I want to do this channel. I've wanted to do like a YouTube thing for a long time. I've been watching YouTube for a long time, and part of me just feels like now is that time. Now is the time where I can take a lot of what I know, a lot of my education, and I can apply it to a sort of just reflective video diary sort of thing. If I see something interesting in the news, I want to be able to talk about it. If I see an interesting TV show or movie, I want to be able to talk about it. And music, I want to be able to talk about. And there's just so much happening in the world that you do forget that there are fun things, right? Like I like watching sports. I like watching movies. I like listening to music. And I do also like I said, listening to the news and paying attention to the news and reading news, and I find it fascinating. And so oftentimes I think that I'm just left laying awake at night thinking, man, what the hell is happening? And I end up writing, political speeches in my head, and I end up thinking about politics in my head, and I end up, sort of ranting to the people in my life about all of the nonsense that's happening. And so I kind of want to use this channel and you right there, whoever you are. I don't even think that anybody will actually watch this or any of these videos if I do end up making more. But I want to have something that timestamps my existence, that says, here is where I existed. Here is where I existed in the universe at this specific time with these specific events happening, and these are the things that I'm paying attention to. These are the things that are interesting to me. What is happening at the moment is just so much. The federal government feels like it's crumbling before our eyes on a pretty deliberate level. Like they are deliberately trying to destroy the federal government, which is not good in my estimation. Another thing, not good. Genocide. I think that maybe we should not do that. Call me crazy. Call me a crazy terrorist supporting man or whatever. I don't know what the Department of Justice will label me now, but there's just so much happening that I feel like, again, I'm going crazy if I'm just going to sit here and take it all in by myself. And so part of why I enjoy sort of engaging in more like news programs or whatever, like on the internet, is that there's like this sense of community of people who are also all witnessing what we are all seeing. in real time happening to the federal government, happening overseas, right? And we're all seeing the sort of collapse of American empire right before our eyes. And that can make you feel less alone. And so I suppose in the end, that's all this really is. It's an attempt for me to feel a little bit less alone while a world sort of implodes around us. I do think often, though, about if we exist at the end of history only because we exist right now. And so we say we exist at the end of the world or at the end of history or whatever because we want our existence to feel a little bit more important, to feel like it has some urgency. And yet we so rarely act with the urgency that the moment demands. Case in point, the Democratic Party. I don't know. I'm frustrated at a lot in the world right now, and I want to talk about it. And there's also really some cool things happening in the world right now. Like Severance Season 2 just wrapped up, and that show is pretty awesome. There's a lot of really cool music that's coming out. I don't know. I mean, it's a great time, I think, to be an artist. It's also a really hard time to be an artist. It's a great time, I think, to be somebody who's interested in politics. It's also a really hard time to be somebody who's interested in politics. And so I think that as somebody who, I don't know, styles himself as a bit of an artist, I write some things sometimes. I don't know how good they are, but I try to infuse whatever's happening in the world into that art. And I think that maybe this can just be a reflective space for me to say, hey, universe, I exist.